There is no investigation into the Atman, the self. The investigation can only be into the non-self. Elimination of the non-self is alone possible. The self, being always self-evident, will shine forth of itself. Jnana Marga, the path of knowledge, and Bhakti Marga, the path of devotion, are actually one and the same. Self-surrender leads to realization just as inquiry does. Complete self-surrender means that you have no further thought of I. Then all your vasanas are washed off and you are free. You should not continue as a separate entity at the end of either course. Surrender unreservedly. One of two things must be done. Either surrender because you admit your inability and also require a higher power to help you, or investigate into the cause of misery. Go to the source and merge into the self. Either way, you will be free from misery. For God never forsakes one who has surrendered. Surrender is to give oneself up to the original source of one's being. Do not delude yourself by imagining such source to be some God outside of you. One's source is within oneself. Give yourself up to it. That means that you should seek the source and merge in it. If, on the other hand, you merge in the self, there will be no individuality left. You will become the source itself. In that case, what is surrender? Who is to surrender and to whom? This constitutes devotion, wisdom, and investigation. The Bhagavad Gita starts saying that you are not the body, that you are not therefore the doer. So one should act without thinking that oneself is the actor. The actions go on despite of egolessness. The person has come into manifestation for a certain purpose. That purpose will be accomplished whether he considers himself the actor or not. How do we know that actions are ours or not? If the fruits of actions do not affect the person, he is free from action. The one infinite, unbroken whole becomes aware of itself as I. This is the original name. All other names, like Om, are later growths. Liberation is only to remain aware of the self. The Mahavakya that states, I am Brahman, is its authority. Though the I is always experienced, yet one's attention has to be drawn to it. Then only knowledge dawns. Thus, the need for the instruction of the Upanishads and of wise sages. The ultimate truth is so simple. It is nothing more than being in the pristine state. That is all that need be said. Reality is one only. How can it be realized? Realization is thus an illusion. Practice seems to be necessary. Who is to practice? Looking for the doer, the act and the accessories disappear. Moreover, if realization is not present here and now, how can it, newly got, be of any use? Realize what is present here and now. The sages did so before and still do that only. Hence they say that it looks as if newly gotten, once veiled by ignorance and later revealed. Reality looks as if newly realized, but it is not new. Advaita and Advaita are relative terms. They are based on the sense of duality. The self is as it is. There is neither Advaita or Advaita. I am that I am. Simple being is the self. One's efforts are directed only to remove one's ignorance. Afterwards they cease, and the real self is found to be always there. No effort is needed to remain as the self. The truth is that the self is constant and unintermittent awareness. The object of inquiry is to find the true nature of the self as awareness. Let one practice inquiry so long as separateness is perceived. Once realization arises, there is no further need for inquiry. The question will also not arise. Can awareness ever think of questioning who is aware? Awareness remains pure and simple. The self is known to everyone, but not clearly. You always exist. The being is the self. I am. And that is the name of God. Of all the definitions of God, none is indeed so well put as the biblical statement, I am that I am. None is so direct as the name Jehovah, I am. The absolute being is what is. It is the self. It is God. Knowing the self, God is known. In fact, God is none other than the self. There is a state beyond our efforts or effortlessness. Until it is realized, effort is necessary. After tasting such bliss, even once, one will repeatedly try to regain it. It is as difficult for a jnani to engage in thoughts as it is for the ignorant to be free from thoughts. Reality is simply the loss of the ego. Destroy the ego by seeking its identity. Because ego is no identity, no entity, it will automatically vanish and reality will shine forth by itself. This is the direct method, whereas all other methods are done only retaining the ego. In those other paths, there arise so many doubts, and the eternal question remains to be tackled. But in this method of inquiry, the final question is the only one, and it is raised from the very beginning. No sadhanas, no spiritual practices are necessary for engaging in this quest. Effortlessness, while remaining aware, is the state of bliss, and that is realization. In a sense, speaking of self-realization is a kind of delusion. It is only because people have been under the delusion that the non-self is the self and the unreal the real, that they have to be weaned out of it by the other delusion called self-realization. Because actually the self always is the self, and there is no such thing as realizing it. Who is to realize what and how, when all that exists is the self, Atman, and nothing but that Atman? Free will and destiny are ever existent. Destiny is the result of past action. It concerns the body. Let the body act as may suit it. Why are you concerned with it? Why do you pay attention to it? Free will and destiny last as long as the body lasts. But true knowledge or real wisdom, jnana, transcends both. The self is beyond knowledge and ignorance. Should anything happen, it happens as the result of one's past actions and divine will and other factors. Free will holds the field in association with individuality. As long as individuality lasts, so long there is free will. All the scriptures are based on this fact, and they advise directing free will to the right channel. Find out to whom free will or destiny matters, and abide in it. Then these two are transcended. That is the only purpose of discussing these questions. To whom do they rise? Find out and be at peace. Yoga implies prior division, and it means later union of one with the other. Who is to be united with whom? You are the seeker, seeking union with something. That something is apart from you. You are aware of the self, so seek it and be it. That will expand as the infinite. Then there will be no question of yogas, for whose is the separation? Find it. He who instructs an ardent seeker to do this or that is not a true master. The seeker is already afflicted by his activities and wants peace and rest. In other words, he wants cessation of his activities. Instead of that, he is told to do something in addition to or in place of his other activities. Can that be a help to the seeker? Love postulates duality. How can the self be the object of love? For love is not different from the self. Love of an object is an inferior order and cannot endure, whereas the self is love, prem, and that means God is love. Turn your vision inwards, and the whole world will be full of the Supreme Spirit. The world is said to be illusion. Illusion is really truth. For even the material sciences trace the origin of the universe to some primordial matter, however exceedingly subtle. God is the same both to those who say the world is real and to those who say it is not. Their outlook is different. You need not entangle yourself in such disputes. The goal is one and the same for all. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is the sole requisite for the realization of the self as God. Brahmacharya is living in Brahman, the absolute consciousness. It has no connection with celibacy as commonly understood. A real brahmachari finds bliss in the absolute consciousness, Brahman, which is the same as the self. Why then should you look for other sources of happiness? In fact, the emergence from the self has been the cause of all the misery. When there is contact of a desirable sort or memory thereof, and when there is freedom from undesirable contacts or memory, we say there is happiness. Such happiness is relative and is better called pleasure. But men want absolute and permanent happiness. This does not reside in objects, but in the absolute consciousness. It is peace, free from pain and pleasure. It is the kingdom of heaven. And that kingdom of heaven mentioned in the Bible and this world are not two different regions. The kingdom is within you, so says the Bible. And so it is. The realized being sees this as the kingdom of heaven, whereas others see it as this world. The difference lies only in the angle of vision. Nirvana or enlightenment is perfection. And in that perfected state, there is neither subject nor object. There is nothing to see, nothing to feel, nothing to know. Seeking and knowing are the functions of the mind. In nirvana, there is nothing but the blissful, pure consciousness, I am.